military involvement? Like you would be doing it. Why you?
Well, I think what's animating a lot of our dysfunctional politics is that our economy is becoming increasingly punitive and inhuman for many, many Americans around the country. So the reason I should be president is that I have a vision that actually helps provide a path forward for tens of millions of American families, which I would suggest would help make our foreign policy more sound, because we'd be making better decisions if people weren't operating from a sense of scarcity at all times.
I asked this of other people too. Are you prepared to order people to die or to kill?
Well, one of the paramount responsibilities of the commander-in-chief is to keep the American people safe. And while raining death on other people is not my first choice, if that's what it would take to keep the American people safe, I'm 100% ready to do just that.
One of the things you've been sort of pushing is this idea of a universal basic income. It's an idea that's gained a lot of currency recently. It's sort of central, I think, to one of your platform or your vision of how to adapt to what you say is this kind of toxic technological change. What is it?
What is universal basic income?
Yeah, and how would it work?
Well, universal basic income is an idea that's been with us since the founding of the country. Thomas Paine was for it, called it the citizen's dividend. Martin Luther King championed it in 1967, called it the guaranteed minimum income. And what it is, it's a policy where every citizen in America gets a certain amount of money to meet our basic needs, no questions asked. So my plan, the freedom dividend, would put $1,000 a month in the hands of every American adult starting at age 18. This would make children and families stronger, would improve our health, nutrition, graduation rates, but it would also help millions of Americans make transitions in this time of historic change.
What would that be, $33 billion a month, right? Somewhere around there?
So the price tag is a bit less than that, in part because we're already spending hundreds of billions of dollars on many, many programs that in part substitute out the costs. But the big change we have to make to afford this freedom dividend is who's going to win from AI and new technologies. It's going to be Amazon, Google, Facebook, Uber, the biggest tech companies. What we have to do is we have to put the American people in position to benefit from those innovations.
What? Why? I've met you before. We went to the same university. You seemed like a successful individual. You're 44 years old. Like, what made you think I'm going to run for president of the United States? You never served in public office, correct?
Well, I was an honorary ambassador of entrepreneurship in the Obama administration, and I started a national nonprofit that raised millions of dollars to help create jobs in regions around the country. And the reason I'm running for president is that America does not understand what is happening to us. We're in the third inning of the fourth industrial revolution. And this industrial revolution is going to upend many of our traditional economic understandings. And I'm running for president to help galvanize energy around real solutions.
But we just ran a huge experiment. Never in the history of the Republic have we had someone have the highest office in the land without military experience or public service experience. I think a lot of people feel like it's an enormously failed experiment. Why roll the dice on that again?
Well, Donald Trump would not be our president today if people thought that our government had been operating at the highest possible levels over the last number of years. Now, Donald Trump is a terrible president because he's a terrible president. But Donald Trump is not necessarily representative of every entrepreneur or other people with different sets of experiences around the country.
Final question. You have a lot of following online, and there's some part of that following online that are some people with some really gnarly views. Like, you have weirdly attracted some white nationalists, some people in the kind of darker, grosser parts of the internet who have cottoned on to you. What do you think about people with, white supremacist avatars who are supporting you?
Well, I've completely disavowed any of that sort of support, and I'm the son of